Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Creative Writers and Illustrators. And my guest for the day is Shweta Taneja, who's out with a
Hi.
brand new book. Let's find out more. Hi, Shweta.
Hi, Shamla. Thank you for having me. I've just launched this book called Kungfu Aunty versus Garbage Monsters. You're probably seeing it upside down, which is all fine. It's a fun ride for kids 9+ years of age. The story is really, really cool, and I have really enjoyed making this book. It is a story in which a science fiction story in which two siblings take help from their mother's cranky, wacky robot to fight all freaks of the waste. It's really crazy. It's a hilarious action-filled climate adventure, and my hope is that after reading this, it'll inspire kids and adults, if they're reading it like Shamla, you did, to become climate warriors and innovate and protect our environment and our earth. That's my whole hope. So I'm calling it a hope punk book because it's supposed to be a science fiction futuristic book, but a positive option for us that yes, we can save our planet.
So, most writers run away from writing anything which is icky mucky. If it appears in the book, it's just for a paragraph or maybe a line. But you've like plunged into the topic, ripped it open, and asked people to just think about the pollution which is happening all around us. So, what motivated you to write this book?
That's a very interesting story, Shamala. So what happened was a few years ago, I was playing Lego blocks with my nephew, and we were thinking of the ultimate villain who we could create because obviously villains are important for every story, as everyone knows. And what we thought about was, okay, what's the most pervasive, all pervasive thing around us? Garbage, trash. It's everywhere in every city of the country, right? So we thought, okay, let us make monsters, different monsters of garbage. And that was like the start of this book. And once we made these monsters, we are like, okay, there is no story in which there are monsters and nobody's fighting them. Nobody, we needed our hero. And I think that was the inception of this book. Once this happened, I just couldn't get garbage monsters out of my head because every time you're traveling, every time you're walking on the road, every time you're like, just like being outdoors in India, you are either smelling garbage or seeing garbage, piles of heaps of it, unfortunately, or people throwing trash all over the place. So you keep imagining, and if you're imaginative like me, you keep imagining these heaps of garbage coming alive in different forms and becoming monsters. So that was the inception of this book, and I really liked how this came out because we really need to face our garbage monsters. Literally, I mean, we kind of shy away or hide from our everyday trash piles or whatever, right? And we we really need to face issues around environment and issues around pollution head on so that we can solve them, not escape into fantastical worlds and not try to do it. So, ironically, this is a fantastical story to say that hey, head on, face your issues around you.
So, the main character in this book has a totally different approach when it comes to problems. He's a reluctant hero, which is kind of quite unusual for middle grade books. So, can you tell us more?
Yeah, so the main character is called Kabir, and he's a 9-year-old, and he's playing, something called trash ball, which is like football but with balls, big balls of trash, because that's all the world of Pretty City has. Does not like to take chances. Does not like to. Let me tell you a little bit about the world also. So Pretty City is not a pretty city. It is a city ruled by a tyrant called Trash Raja, who's the king of garbage monsters, and he has this army of garbage monsters, which are different huge size of mosquitoes, for example. They are humongous and they are dangerous armies, and the humans in that city, their duty is to feed these creatures, to these monsters, constantly feed them, create trash and feed them. So in this world, Kabir is a law-abiding citizen, really. And what he wants to do is keep doing the nice things and not really protest, not really go against the government, against the trash monsters. It might not be a fair government, but he doesn't want to get into politics. So he plays it safe and win the local league cup. That's his goal. I think it was interesting for me to build it because a lot of us, Shamala, be it children, young adults, or adults, all of us reflecting about what we are, and we just want to do regular things. But I wanted to start from there. I wanted my protagonist to start from there and go through the journey of and become an active climate warrior. I think that journey was important for the narrator. And we will talk about the sibling relationship a little bit later as well in this interview, which is where the second character comes in, Leela. But yeah, that's the reason I took a reluctant hero, because I thought all of us are reluctant heroes. We haven't taken action. We children or adults, nothing can happen now. Literally, sometimes we give up on hope. So I want all of us to take this journey with Kabir to realize that no, whatever be the stage, whatever be the size of the person or the age or the power in a society, we can create change. We can become climate warriors. That's my aim.
One of the pages has the has a caption, like it's a part of a newspaper, and the newspaper is called the New York Times. And the caption says, "We don't want anyone controlling our gender." And that is so true, because we don't want anyone telling us to consume less, because we believe that more money is equal to more consumption, and more consumption leads to more pollution. And do you think it is, and it's not possible to make everything recyclable and biodegradable? So what are your thoughts on this?
Shamala, other than with the an environmental nonprofit, ecology research. So, and I have worked with researchers who are doing, who are a, who are constantly trying to conserve forests and talk about climate and pollution, and bringing out studies after studies. And I know that all of us, we do our bit for the climate, but we don't know how. We are feeling lost about it. I think one of the strongest ways for all of us, each individual, to make change is just to consume less. That's the simplest way to do it, really. Not to recycle, not focus on post-consumption options that we have, but just to consume less. Even in pretty, what happens is that Trash Raja, the monster king, starts off as human, and he interestingly, he's the one who stands up for the society and says, okay, I will consume all the trash that you're creating, and I will eat it up, I will gobble it up, and your problem is solved. You can keep consuming and you can keep creating trash. And I think what I wanted to do with this is that is one alternative, that we have this. So he is a hero at that time and solving a problem. But I wanted to talk about how he becomes a problem itself, because you can't outsource it. You cannot say, Trash Raja, okay, eat our garbage and go away. Because then he becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and he wants more and more things to be consumed. And the job of all adults in this world is to create trash. That's the job, so that the garbage monsters can be fed. So it's an allegorical take on what are the emergency right now.
Let's talk about Leela, the hero's sister. She is 100% positive, filled with 100% positivity, and an absolute troublemaker, getting Kabir into really difficult situations all the time.
Yeah, so Leela is a darling. She is just so likable. So for readers, of course, many of you haven't read this book yet. Old, she is a born rebel. She cannot take any uh, any unfair treatment. So in a city where which is ruled by armies of garbage monsters, and humans are not ruling it themselves, of course there will be unfair treatment, right? It's colonization in a way. And she is a born rebel. So when her classmate gets in trouble because he hasn't got like this gooey chocolate cake offer, I cannot take this. I have to protest. I have to fight. So she's on her own journey, and I loved creating this relationship between Kabir and Leela. It's not straightforward love. It is like all siblings. Any one of you, if you had a sibling, you would love this book because it is about a sibling relationship of two very, very different people who have their own strong goals, who are their own strong people, and they know that they're want to stick together, but one is an out and out rebel and wants to stand up against power, and the other one wants to keep everyone safe and play it safe and protect their family. So Kabir is the latter and Leela is the first one, and I love this creating this like spark between them as they go through the journey of protest and go through the journey of standing up against Rash Raja.
So the mother's missing, but the father is out there like any other dad, and his primary concern and priority is the safety of the family. So, what motivated you to create him? He's similar to Kabir.
I think he's similar to Kabir,
Kabir is
actually. You're
kind
right.
of learning from his, picking up non-verbal cues from his father that this is what
That's
family,
correct.
this is how one should go about.
That's correct, Shamala. Um, what happened was that for viewers who don't know this, uh, for viewers who don't know this, the Leela and Kabir's mother is a scientist, and she's the one who's created robots, cleaning robots. So she was using technology to solve the problems in Pretty City to fight these garbage monsters. And she she was arrested and she went missing. Whether she passed away or she's rotting in some jail, and there's no resolution to. They never find her. The family never finds her. So I think once she was arrested from the household when for creating this technology to solve the monstrous garbage around them, the father really got scared and became protective about his family. And he's like, I cannot lose. So he became like completely like this protective hen and saying, I will protect my children and I will make sure they grow up well. I cannot afford to lose them to fighting for the society like I lost my wife. So I think that motivates him to hide even their mother's legacy from the children and say that, and allow them to have this normative life of just studying in school, playing, and coming back. Not see helms and wearing protective gear while playing because your city is completely pollution, filled with pollutant monsters as well. So yeah, so I think that motivates him as a character then.
Had fun creating the world of Thrash Raj.
Oh yeah, I
There is
did.
something called Cleanoris, then Oxyhens, the Plastocrocs, and the dog roaches, and it just goes on and on. There are blow rats, which I personally found were very scary. And also, there is this mantle of
Yeah,
mortal,
blow traps are scary. They have a bad bite.
uh, the mantle of mortal molasses. I mean, there is the Puke Peak, the Supreme Bile Stadium, Palace of Fumes. I think you just played with your imagination and just gone wild with the names. It's very vivid. The descriptions are very vivid. Nice. Nicely done.
Thank you. Interest also, and I love to go visual with words. I feel like I need to know and dramatically like visualize what is which character is what monster is doing what, including like those funny moments in which the monster also is humane in the sense that they have their own aspirations and they have their own goals also of life. I like to bring that out in my characters.
I like two of the things which you created. One is the quick grow seeds that make a tree grow in a jiffy, and the other is rapid rot, which decomposes biodegradable waste at supersonic speed, which I thought is an absolute need of the hour. So, which is your favorite creation?
Well, I of course there's no questions asked. These are so I write science and technology, so these are my hope that one of the scientists reads this book and says, okay, we can create this, why not, and creates rapid rot for all of us, right? So because Kabir and Leela's mom is like that, she's creating all of these things which are like super useful for solving our trash problems all the time. My favorite creation is Kungfu Aunty, of course. I absolutely loved creating this robot, which is like this multiple hands, multiple handy kind of. She has brushes coming out of her body. She can clean. She can use rapid rods. She can grow trees. She's this multi-life goddess, tech goddess, so to speak, who can, do quick action. And I just love the fact, and she came to me as is because I am a Kung Fu movies fan and I grew up on Kung Fu movies, watching it with my sibling, my older brother. So it's something that I kind of added to her character. So Kung Fu Auntie is the robot who loves Kung Fu movies and she watches it with Leela, and that's something that gives her peace and joy. And the actions that she has, like sit throw, crane that gobbles pain, kind of these kung fu moves that she does to fight these monsters. I really enjoyed creating those moves.
And she's
And
a
yeah, that's my
pacifist.
absolute thing. And
She's
she's a pacifist.
yeah, that came
Yeah.
as like a total surprise to me.
Yeah, she's a pacifist. I mean that she has the power to fight and she's like this out and out hero, so to speak. But she doesn't like to fight for the sake of fight. She's like, I will clean if I want to clean because that's the purpose or that's how I was built. But I don't want to fight things. And this kind of character element, I think, brought a lot of hilarity to the action as well. And Kabir is in trouble and he's like, I have this ultimate weapon to fight all these garbage monsters. And then he realizes, okay, the weapon is a pacifist and I have to figure out my own thing. So that was really funny to build.
So the mom's missing. So I'm hoping there is a book number 2. We never know.
Well, yeah, you never know. Yeah, I would love to create something. Yeah, I would love to create a second level of what Kabir and Leela do after maybe they grow up a little or they don't. I'm not sure, but yeah. The mom is still hanging there, yeah, and towards the end, yeah.
It's a wonderful book, Shweta. I hope readers enjoy the book. I mean, so much of wordplay that The world building you've done is amazing, and it is a winner. Thank you so much, Shweta. Thank you so much for your time.
Shamla, that's very, very kind of you to say. Thank you for having me. Bye bye, everyone.